It wasn't that she was afraid of being alone. She just really didn't want to lose him. She deeply loved him. Finally, she slumped into a chair in the corner of the lobby. She needed some time to calm down before making her way home. Suddenly, she felt a hand quietly grasp onto her shoulder. She turned her head and saw a face full of wrinkles and a wretched smile. The man said, "Beautiful girl, why are you sitting here all alone?" She then looked around and saw two more men standing beside him. She was cornered. The men surrounding Celia began to harass her. "You're quite pretty. You must be so lonely here by yourself. Why don't I keep you company?" "Damn, man, this girl's fine. She's so much prettier than our usual girls." "Give us a smile, darling." Once again, one of the men placed his hands firmly on her shoulder. She was growing increasingly scared. The man's grip tightened until it hurt. She struggled to get out of his grasp and firmly said, "Leave me alone." The man holding her shoulder started at her when moving. He then moved his hand so that it was touching the bare skin on her collarbone. He leered at her and said, "If you don't smile, how can you expect someone to keep you company? Luckily for you, I could see past your bad attitude." The three men stared at Celia, eyes wide, mouths open, and devilish smiles. What Celia didn't know was that these three men had been sent by Sasha. The man holding her shoulder, Sam, was well known throughout Lauderdale for causing trouble. He was frequently in and out of the police station for petty theft and assault. Yet with plenty of people willing to pay for his service, he was never in jail for too long. Today's job was simple. They were to do what was necessary to ruin Celia's reputation. She suddenly broke free of his grip and said loudly, "Stop right now, I'm going to call the police." The men laughed. Sam said, "Oh, go ahead, honey. Give them a call. In fact, I'll tell you what, I'll call them myself." He then moved to grab her again. At this point, there were quite a few people in the lobby watching the situation unfold. But they all know that Sam was ferocious and rarely had limits to how far he would go for a job. None of them dared to step forward. Only one security guard did his best to intervene, but one of Sam's men was quick to take care of the matter. Their actions scared anyone else who was even considering coming to Celia's aid. Sam grinned. He grabbed Celia in a loose bear hug and ushered her toward the elevator. Panicking, she struggled against his weight, trying to jab her elbows into his ribcage. She knew she needed to break free before getting into the elevator. She managed to stomp her heel down into the toe of his foot and let him go with a scream of pain. Celia ran. She did not hesitate. Sam's face was bright scarlet as he roared at his men. "Get her back! Get her!" She did her best to run, but in her heels she was no match for Sam's men. Sam's demeanor had changed. He was now very angry. "Don't you run away from me again, little girl," he threatened, "or you'll regret it." He waved his hand, and his men dragged her into the elevator. Before he joined them, Sam turned around and addressed the people still lingering in the lobby. "I hope you all got a recording of this. It'll make for a nice keepsake." Inside the elevator, Celia was still struggling to break free. "Let go of me!" she screamed. "If you dare to do anything to me, my husband will kill you." Tears streamed down her face. She thought to herself that until now she never really understood what it meant to be helpless. Sam laughed in her face and she said, "Your husband? Where is he? Even if he does come, he'll be too late." But Celia knew Chase, and she had to hang on to the hope that he would have saved her, just like he had at Nina at the office, her knight in shining armor. If he were here, these men wouldn't be so smug. In this moment, she kicked herself. She had been dodging his calls. He had no idea where she was. She cried out in despair. "Chase, where are you? Please come find me." She hoped for a miracle. Suddenly, an earth-shattering roar came blowing in from outside the building's door. "Let her go." All eyes were on Chase as he strode into the lobby with big, exaggerated steps. His anger radiated off his body, filling the entire lobby with palpable energy. Seeing him, Celia began to cry even harder. A mixture of love and relief flowed through her body. He was here. He would save her. Just as quickly as she'd felt more hopeless than she ever felt, she now felt a profound sense of security. Breaking free from Sam's men, who had loosened their grips on Chuck, she ran towards Chase and threw herself into his arms. She laughed and cried and said, "What took you so long?" He kissed her forehead and ran through her hair and said gently, "I'm here now." Suddenly, she was no longer thinking about the men who had tried to kidnap her. Her thoughts were back with Sasha. She said to Chase, "Tell me you love me." He cupped her face in his hands and nodded with all his might. "Of course I love you, baby girl," he said. "You and Dottie are my everything." The insecurities poured out faster than she could speak. "But Sasha said she was your fiancée. That I was the other woman. That I didn't know you. That you didn't love me." He listened to her and then calmly replied, "That's all in the past. I will explain everything." She nodded. At this moment, she trusted him unconditionally. Meanwhile, Sam was watching everything in shock. "You crazy?" he shouted. "You just flirted with me and invited me up to your room, and now you're running to your husband as if you weren't just about to cheat on him?" Chase turned towards Sam and walked up to him until they were face to face, his gaze like a sword. He said, "You were the one who harassed my wife." Sam raised his head to meet Chase's gaze and said very arrogantly, "So what if I was? If you know what's good for you, then you'll let it go." Chase narrowed his eyes. Without warning, he hit Sam in the face. Sam staggered back a few paces and then shouted at his men, "Take him down!" The two other men began to walk toward Chase. "Bring it on," he thought to himself.
Wait, that's not the end. You've just had a free taste. Now get the full story on the Pocket FM app, link in description. Check out our next video and playlist, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.